Marcus Aurelius once said, "We are born for cooperation." None of us can forget the run-up to the new concluded G20 summit, which was dominated by the absence of the Chinese president, Xi. Others may say that the growing divide between China and India is nothing but a reflection of the reality underlying the growing rift between the BRICS nations and the West. I have always argued that one of the major outcomes will be manifested on the global financial system, with the inevitable significant long-term impact on the US dollar. With the ongoing conflicts in Ukraine, as the West is pushing even harder to provoke Russia, many regions of the world are suffering economically as uncertainty and confusion has become the order of the day. Amidst these circumstances, investors are wondering what kind of asset they need to invest in that will allow them not only diversification of their assets, but also create stability and good return on investments. That said, among the major commodities investors are considering, you got it right, is gold. Why gold, you may ask? It is because it has proven to be a stable commodity. Look no further at its long history. While gold has been used as a long-term store, not only of value, but also its price can be volatile at a time, especially when viewed on a short-term basis. In 2020, the price of gold crossed $2,000 an ounce mark. And given how the volatility in the market is part of its course, gold prices ultimately dropped roughly about 20% towards the end of 2022. And this is according to World Gold Council data. However, given the major geopolitical shifts taking place on the global stage, from BRICS and G20 to ASEAN and ASCO, all indications suggest that the value of gold on the global market is rebounding. We all know it crossed the $2,000 mark last April and May, before sliding a bit to its current level of $1,924.95 an ounce as of September 11th, 2023. But overall, gold is up year to date, and there are reasons to think it could break 2000 again, though there are no guarantees. So the question we need to ask, what direction are gold prices heading in? While predicting exact gold price can be tricky and challenging, several experts think economic indicators such as inflation, interest rates, and of course a weakening dollar points towards a general trend of rising gold prices despite the recent downsizing. The exact timing of it and when gold will cross the $2,000 mark can also be a challenge to pinpoint exactly. But one clue that could give us a hint is interest rates. And given where things are, many analysts suggest the possibility that interest rates will rise further in 2023 moving into 2024, which could put pressure on gold prices this year. But for 2024 could look even better for gold. Interest rates are not the only factor, by the way. You must consider the decline of the US dollar, the petro yuan, the bilateral trade among countries in their own currencies. All this paves the way for investors' appetite for gold. So the question again we need to ask, is now a good time to consider gold investing? I would say yes. Look no further at how central banks are buying gold like there is no tomorrow. So if you want to build a diversified portfolio, gold, even at a price below $2,000, you will be insulated from future shocks like stock market downturn. I don't need to remind you about the historical track record, how gold has always held its value, serving not only as a hedge against inflation, but also a safe haven. This leads me to talk about today's sponsor of this video, Westlake Gold Mining, stock ticker US WRLGF. The company was established in 2016, and with it, its business model. Analysts will agree that the potential for greater return for this company is most likely. Let me explain. The first thing you need to know is that the location or the region where Red Lake operates. It operates in what is called the Red Lake region. It is not only rich in gold, but also has a high-grade gold. It is a region in Canada called the Red Lake with a high-grade gold, which was found back in 1925. And for about a decade, its regional airport, the regional airport in Red Lake region, has become one of the busiest in the world, as many flooded the region in search of gold. Interestingly, Madsen Mine, which is located right there in Red Lake region, which was operated for the last 30 years, has a high infrastructure and was in care and maintenance till early 2000s. About 2 years ago, the founder of Lionsgate, billionaire Frank Justra, who is a self-made mining tycoon who was among the founding of Gold Corp, turning it into the largest gold company in the world. So Frank bought Madsen Mine from a bankrupt company and now owns the mine and the mill. The bankrupt company that was worth, by the way, $1 billion was purchased for $60 million. It was a bargain for any shrewd investor and anyone with common sense and money, of course, to let this opportunity pass by. So the market cap now for the company is $60 million. The same assets the bankrupt company had for $1 billion valuation. And by the way, the company that was bankrupt mismanaged the funds, and that's why he went bankrupt during COVID. Now, the new company, Red Lake Mines, has a solid team, and let me share some information with you about the team. We'll start with the CEO, Shane Williams, who built 4 mines and was the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of Skinna Resources. Now, Skinna Resources shares went from 50 cents to $16 a share in the span of 3 years. It's impressive, I would say. And given Shane's experience, I have no doubt he knows how to take gold projects forward. Then there are 2 other members of the board. One of them is Tony McCush, who was the CEO of Kirkland Gold, arguably the most famous and successful gold company of the 2010s. The next person is Duncan Middlemiss, who was the CEO of Western Gold Mine. And the company, by the way, went from 50 cents a share to $20 a share over his tenure as a CEO. So the reason I'm highlighting all this with you, because this team is experienced, knowledge, and successful when it comes to gold mining. Their track record speaks for itself. So this opportunity, born out of mismanagement and poor execution of the previous team that led the company to bankruptcy, in addition to COVID lockdowns. At the same time, it created an opportunity that Frank Justra seized and capitalized on. And this is exactly the business model Frank used to build Gold Corp into the largest gold company in the world. It's a lucrative opportunity, I would say. The first thing this team is going to do is to reduce liability, to stabilize the project. And this is exactly what the market wants to see, because the reason the previous owner had to sell the company because the market was discussed and didn't like how the project was managed. So the plan is this. The company, Westlake Mines, will restart the drilling. Okay? It will also restart planning to get this project into production. Then start executing the production itself. And here is the key. Once you have a mill, which is a strategic asset, you can start consolidating other assets in the region by becoming bigger and bigger cash flow operating miner. That's the vision of the company Westlake Mining. So what do we have here? We have an incredible management team, an incredible opportunity, an incredible valuation, an incredible jurisdiction, and an ownership. In addition to going back and prove to the market that this project is indeed worth $1 billion if it is put in the right hand with the market cap of only $60 million and $13 million cash on hand. So the company is brand new and has such a low market cap. And by the way, the audience, you are first to know about this. The other aspect you need to know about is that hard cost, which is about $350 million, are already in the mine and the mill alone. Meaning that if everything fails, which I don't expect, it still has that much in assets already. So if they lose everything, they still have the mill and the infrastructure already in this mine, selling the asset with the potential of making 6 times your money. And by the way, just FYI, the cost of replacement value for the mine and the mill runs between $600 to $700 million. So what are you waiting for? You can either invest in Westlake Gold Mining, stock ticker WRLGF today, or let this opportunity slip away, as demand for gold is only going to grow moving forward. Once again, the company is Westlake Gold Mining, stock ticker WRLGF. Check it out. And remember, there is always risk in investments and there are no guarantees. Thank you.